Yeah, after digesting the film, a lot to like, a lot to clean up at the same time. I do think, each week you want to get into this mindset of improving week in and week out. Defensively, really pleased with just sound. They give you a lot schematically and where the guys' eyes were, fits, tackling. Pretty good offensively. Again, starts up front. A couple of early hits in the run game were huge to get us momentum going. And throughout the night, I thought DJ made some good decisions with the ball. Again, you go back-to-back games without giving the ball away is some solid stuff. And then I was pleased really with the second half. A lot of guys played, got into the game, which was awesome to see. In a program, you got a lot of guys that practice, and so for them to get an opportunity to go out there and play was great. Atmosphere, thanking Beaver Nation again, I thought it was great with the energy in the place, and hopefully their experience went really well. I'm looking forward to getting back at home again. Counting on the crowd to help us out. This is a good team we're playing. San Diego State's got some pride in them. The last few years played really competitive, and against this conference, Brady Hopewell have those guys ready to play. Physical group that play with pride, and so we know we got a challenge ahead of us.
Defensively. What's exceeded your expectations? Anything?
I think a couple guys pop out. I think Jaden Robinson has played at a high level in back-to-back games. He had some experience from last year, but he's definitely taken a step, challenging and doing some stuff. I think the line of scrimmage we had anticipated, hopeful that we can make it difficult, and those guys did. Sione played really physical. Hodge had a great game. Joe Golden, those guys at the line of scrimmage have been pretty solid.
When do you make a decision on Aiden going beyond 4 games?
Yeah, kind of when we get to that point. We talked about it early. We wanted to hopefully get him in the game, and that's happened the last 2. Right now, it's kind of week to week, depending on the game plan and who opponent we're playing and that kind of thing. But we won't hesitate to keep putting him out there. If that's, again, it's a mutual conversation between what he wants and how much we can get him in.
How much did you feel like he grew in this last game from week 1?
I thought he played well in week 1 for the series he got, or 2. Made some plays in this one again. I think he's going the right spot with the ball. His athleticism shows up, so I think he's pretty comfortable and confident when he's out there.
And I was going to ask, did you get any sort of explanation on that the chainsaw deal where they had the warning? Did they say anything to you?
It was really brief on the field. The explanation was more of a game operation, stadium noise, and they were in communication with them.
Depending on how things play out, this is a San Diego State program that you may be seeing a lot more of in the future. Does that thought ever cross your mind as you're preparing for a game like this?
Not a ton, no. You're locked in kind of on this week approach, and this week where they're at, where we're at, we're going to play at 12:30 in Reeser. Got a lot of respect for them. West Coast football, Mountain West, current Mountain West teams, those guys are competitive, have beaten whatever described Pac-12 teams multiple times the last 3 years. So that's what we think about.
Is it helpful to have tape of their game last week against UCLA as you prepare for them? And what did you see offensively and defensively from San Diego State?
Yeah, definitely helps to have tape against multiple opponents. They've played 3 games now. I thought they looked good on tape. A couple of, again, short yardage play. They got the ball on the 1-inch yard line and they don't get a score. I think that game's a little bit different after that. And so, again, they can go toe-to-toe physically, line of scrimmage, both sides with really anybody. And so they got their respect and attention there. Schematically, defensively, they give you a lot. Movement at the line of scrimmage, pressure package, challenge you in the back end. So that's what we've seen on tape.
8 Pac-12 teams ranked in the top 25 this week, multiple wins against Power 5 opponents. What are your thoughts on the conference, where it's at right now, and the challenge ahead for your team?
Yeah, going into the season, thought that this thing was going to be competitive Pac-12-wise. Again, a lot of talk about the quarterbacks. I think that's shown up. Those guys are good players throughout the league. So we know it's going to be challenging moving forward. But again, it goes back to being locked in on this week, and we'll get to those guys down the road.
Coach, 6 different receivers have caught touchdown passes for you guys over the last couple of weeks. How much more does this new depth at the receiver position really help you guys offensively and help obviously a new quarterback like DJ kind of get adjusted to the system when he has, 6 different guys, 5 different guys that he can rely on to get open and make big plays at any moment during the game?
Right, after 2 games, yeah, the ball's been distributed. We do like to play multiple guys at a particular position, receiver, but also at tight end, even rotate a little bit O-line wise, and backfield gets rotated. So you want to have some depth. I do think DJ, quarterback's got some confidence in multiple guys out there, and so that's a good thing. And so hopefully moving forward, as the season goes, you're just going to need more than 1 or 2 guys at a position.
I know it's obviously early on, but do you think that's already kind of a big difference from last season to this year? Just the impact that the receivers are already making. Again, even Reha's touchdown on Saturday, he got some separation to allow DJ to make that throw. Is that kind of a change you've already noticed from years past?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a small sample size in regards to the 2 games. We're into it. If we got multiple guys that can make plays, we feel like we've got that. And if we can keep some consistency, rhythm, timing with multiple guys, we'll definitely do it.
You're also one of the few teams in the nation that still hasn't turned over the ball and have also obviously gone a couple turnovers yourself. How important is that? Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Knock on some wood that continues on. But how important is that, especially when you're, just getting your feet wet with these first couple of games and trying to bring in that confidence as you get ready for Pac-12 play here in just, another week or so, basically?
It's a good thing, obviously, not turning the ball over, especially early in the season. Again, we talked a little bit, we don't do a ton of live reps, right? Ball carrying, tackling in August. And so your first couple games, you're still feeling that out, and so far so good. Again, we're not going into games if the ultimate goal is just, don't turn it over. We got a mindset of we want to be aggressive, but after 2, we'll take it. I'm sure we're going to turn it over at some point throughout this season, but the longer it goes, the better.
So if you do turn it over, you won't blow a gasket.
Try not to, depending on how we turn it over. But no, I anticipate we'll probably have 1 or 2.
Can you speak to Anthony Gould's situation?
Feeling confident that this weekend, final call by the end of the week, but currently he's projected to be fine unless we take a turn for the worse.
Playing off that Calvin Hart.
Same, projected to feel good. We'll make that call toward the end, but if he can progress like he has, we feel confident.
Anyone else out of Saturday? Or?
Jack Conne might not. He got a high ankle, but we'll see toward the end of the week. I think that's it.
I did actually never even look to see if Alton Julian played against San Jose, but he did get in this game. What did you think
Yep,
about how he's played?
Worked off some rust, got in kind of in the fourth quarter. It was great to see him out there. Long road to recovery. I still think he's got a ways to go to be completely back to where he was, whatever that was, a year and a half ago. But he did get in and did some good things.
After you watched the film, watching what Isaac did in the game, what stood out to you?
He was in his fit correctly. We did some movements up front, got into the backfield to create some havoc. And, he wasn't alone on creating that havoc, but the opportunity was there for him and got some tackles for loss.
Maybe it's a little early, but what have you learned about watching the UCLA San Diego State film?
Like I said, the physicality San Diego State runs with, how competitive they are. They make it physical. They're going to challenge you and tackle. Quarterback can move and create with his feet, but make some good throws down the field. They can run the ball, not just off of the UCLA week, but the previous. So they got a good rushing attack.
Coach, for somebody like Reha to get his first catch, and it's a touchdown catch, and all the time he spent in the program, what did that mean to you and the guys to see that moment for him?
Yeah, it was great because he's been around here. He's been contributing. He's been playing a lot of receiver. Ball hadn't gone his way. Willing to play a lot on special teams and contribute that way. And so it was fun for him to be highlighted, getting a score like that because he's put a lot into this program.
Your inside linebackers with Calvin out. How did you feel that Melvin played there? John Miller a little bit. It looked like they got some important reps.
Yeah, Melvin played really well. Micaiah started the game and then rotated Melvin to get in and did some really productive, was in the right spot. We were pleased with kind of how he played. John Miller's played quite a bit, and so it was great for those guys, and we're going to need them. Easton obviously is a really good player, but it'll be nice to get Calvin back and creating this depth we have.
You got Atticus Sappington, a couple of field goal opportunities, the operation clean, right? I mean,
Yeah.
those were important reps for those guys.
It was, and he banged 2 field goals through, obviously the PAT thing. I think he's kicking with confidence. Did a good job on kickoff, and distance, kicking it out of the end zone most of the time, but also the accuracy when it was in play. So he's going to be a needed part. He's not alone with that. Josh is holding for him, and Dylan's snapping it. And so that operation was clean.
And Isaiah Newell getting some carries, and he looks physical. I mean, he's kind of an upright style, but he delivers a pretty good blow at the end.
Yep, it was great for him to get in, get some carries that way. We got him in the game a little bit of like a fullback-ish type look. So, and again, you're just going to need these guys. After week 2, you need guys continue to grow and develop. Newell's proven. He's done it last year, carrying the ball a decent amount, and feel like we got three backs there. And even Jake Reichel running down on kickoff and making some plays was awesome to see. Got a couple of carries, so it's all good.
I know DJ obviously didn't get a lot of attempts under his belt, last Saturday because it was a blowout win. But how do you make sure that, potentially he's still getting the amount of reps he needs to into these games to feel, confident? Practice obviously is a good outlook, but it's really the game time situations where you really figure out what you're learning for a quarterback. So how do you make sure that he's still getting the amount of reps that he needs, especially, again, as we continue to progress in the season?
Yeah, you play the game to win, and with how this last game went, I mean, it just was what it was, and so you're not going to sacrifice, extended play for him when there's other guys with opportunities. We feel like he's in a good spot right now, playing with confidence, going to the right spots, decision making. And so even I think about the end of the half, wanted to try to create the 2-minute there, and that didn't go well. So that's a way to not just DJ, but all that offense to operate. So we got to take advantage of that, and we'll definitely need the passing game this weekend.
Does the light show impede anything you're trying to do on the sideline?
I don't know about impede. It's added energy. Could be a distraction. I think I flashed a few guys in the second half, kind of in the jumbotron dancing and whatnot. Again, we want these guys having fun. I think it's great fan experience. So it's a good thing.
Hey, Jonathan, just wanted to ask you about the stadium. I know you got a coach a game, but to see it full, to see the atmosphere, what was that like for you and the guys?
Yeah, I think appreciation for people showing up, bringing energy. I felt like the thing was close to full well before kickoff, which was a fun atmosphere. And again, playing at home, it needs to be an advantage, and we're going to need it again against a really good team here at 12:30 Saturday.